So he
So that's why
experienced
it's okay.
severe beatings and psychological torture in a super max prison in El Salvador. Not in Secot.
Oh my
Did you
fucking
think?
God.
Wait, hold on. Did you think Secot was the name of the country?
Prove to me what he's done wrong since taking his position at the White House and his position in this country.
Sending illegal immigrants to. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, you go for it.
Sending illegal immigrants with no due process to a torture camp is pretty bad.
It's not a torture camp.
It is. Secot has that we literally have firsthand accounts from immigrants who were sent to Secot saying that they were forced to kneel on the ground from 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. overnight, and if they fell from exhaustion, they would be beaten by the guards.
Post a link.
Yep.
Now, when you say illegal immigrants, do you mean MS-13? Do you mean any other criminal, violent criminal, illegal gang members that?
So the person who reported this torture was alleged to be a part of a gang. There were. I think there were. Well, first of all,
so he's getting what he deserves.
So I don't know if you're aware of this.
What do murderers, thieves, and
it's illegal to torture people. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's illegal to torture people, especially for just retributive justice. That's not how our legal system works. I don't know if you're aware of that. But on top of that, there were, I think, around I don't remember if it was 200 or 2,000 people who were sent on the same flight who were subject to the same exact treatment. I don't know if you're saying that all 2,000 of them were accurately described as gang members without having any opportunity to challenge that designation. I think that's pretty naive, but
so am I on?
Yep.
Okay. Why are you muting me?
Well, because you kept interrupting, so.
I did not interrupt.
Okay. So 261.
Okay. This is how you control narratives with bullhorns and screaming in people's faces and over talking. Yeah. In other words, you're not on here to debate. This is not a debate.
Okay.
You're here to overpower.
Hey, was there
anything? Are you going to address the point or no?
Yeah. Was there?
What's your point?
Was there anything that you said that I disagreed with? Do you think it's good to just torture people?
Well, if they're pedophiles or if they've murdered people or kidnapped children, yes.
What if he hasn't done any of that? What if he has no criminal record?
Did you not say that a gang member reported this?
I said he was alleged to be a member of a gang, but he has no criminal record in El Salvador and has no criminal record in the U.S.
Maybe he has a criminal record from his country of origin.
His country of origin is El Salvador. He has no criminal record in El Salvador.
How can you verify that?
You would have to prove that he has a criminal record.
No, you would have to prove this before even making the statement that you.
You know what, globalists?
You are speculating. Narrative. You're speculating that this person committed some phantom crime.
Okay,
Can you show me that? Can you show me that?
Let's go to square one.
Mm-hmm.
What's globalism?
What's globalism? I feel like we've defined that
you
pretty at stake.
No,
I appreciate you pivoting away. I appreciate you completely pivoting away from this because you realize it was completely unjustifiable. I really appreciate that. The operation or planning of economic and foreign policy on a global basis.
Globalism is a centralizing philosophy. Okay? And it favors international cohesion over national independence.
Where are you getting this definition?
That is the definition.
Where are you getting this definition?
It's a centralizing philosophy. In other words, everybody works together. Well, I don't know. Let's deduce what centralizing philosophy means.
Centralizing philosophy is not the question that I'm asking you. Where are you getting this definition?
It's my definition.
Oh, okay.
I don't give a shit about.
So when I say Donald Trump is,
so what is a debate?
When I say Donald Trump, okay, so
where are we debating from? What are you using? ChatGPT? What are you using?
We can fast forward this debate really easy. When I say Donald Trump is a bad president, by bad I mean his name is Donald Trump, so he's like tautologically a bad president.
Orange man bad. Okay, all right. Have fun there, Rainbow Warrior.
That has just as much value as
your 4,800 followers are going to be dropping. You haven't got much. Go chase your flies
around. That has just as much validity as your definition of globalism. I hope you know that.
I've already heard you bickering back and forth earlier and then chasing flies around. This is ridiculous. This is not.
Are you going to address anything?
You guys need to go back to your Xbox. Good night. I got work to do.
I would hit the books, buddy. I would hit the books, buddy.
Hit your bong, boy.
I would hit the books, buddy. It'd be way worse if I was high, because that means you couldn't even engage with the facts that some fucking wasted person was giving you, all right?
You're not giving facts.
I literally gave you a fact that one of the people who was deported to CCOT was reported being tortured by kneeling from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. And if they had fallen, they were beaten by the guards. Okay, that's a fact. All right, it's in legal documents. You can look it up. I can link it to you if you want me to.
Go for it.
Okay, I don't know. So just to be clear, though, I'm pretty sure that TikTok auto filters out some of the links that sends in chat. So if it shows up, I don't know. I don't want to DM.
Spell it out for me.
I'll
open my computer. Go for it.
What do you want me to tell you? Just like to
spell out the link for me. Tell me what it is.
Okay. ST.
You don't have to spell it out. Just say it.
storage.courtlistener.com/recap/gov.us-courts.mdd.57.
Slow down.
Okay.
Storage.courtlistener.
LISTN or TENER.
Yeah, I know how to spell listener. Just slow down with you're over caffeinated.
.com.
Listener.gov.
.com.
.com.
/recap. /gov.uscourts. .mdd. .5788 15 /gov .uscourts .mdd .578815 .211 .3 .pdf. Got it?
That was ridiculous. Why is it not mainstream media?
Okay.
Okay, now that you're focused.
Did you look it up?
Who was this posted by?
This is on Court Listener.
Yeah, who was it posted by? Where did this information come from?
Court Listener is the thing that archives all of the court documents.
Yeah, I know what it is. Case. I know exactly what it is.
Okay, so who posted it was Court Listener. That's who posted it.
Yeah, they posted it, but where did this admission come from?
The lawyers of the plaintiff?
The lawyers of the plaintiff. Okay, and the plaintiff is an alleged gang member who's been deported from the country. Who's been deported from the country for what?
With no criminal record, right?
No criminal record? Have you looked up his criminal record in El Salvador?
Yeah, let's look up his criminal record in El Salvador.
Do you have access to El Salvador's criminal justice system and the court system? And
wait, hold on. Are you saying he was convicted of a crime in El Salvador?
In El Salvador. .123456788 / yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Are you claiming that he was convicted of a crime in El Salvador?
Well, where would the allegation come from otherwise?
Okay, so
where would the allegation originate?
Globals, just answer the question.
He was not convicted of a crime in El Salvador, right?
Well, you already stated yourself before I even said a word about where it came from that he was an alleged gang member. Okay.
Because of his tattoos, right?
No, tattoos don't determine whether someone's a gang member.
Okay, it was because of his tattoos. So okay. What was he ever convicted of? Can you tell me that?
I don't know.
Okay,
You tell
nothing.
me.
Okay. So, yeah, I can tell you it was nothing.
Okay, so Trump's a bad president because
he was sending people to a torture camp. Yes.
Oh, he sent people to it. Where's the torture camp bit?
The fact
you
that
ever
he
heard
was
of the Geneva
sending
Conventions?
the fact that he
You
was
ever heard of the
sending
Geneva
immigrants,
Conventions?
the fact that he was
The Geneva
sending
Suggestion?
immigrants, the fact that he was sending immigrants to CCOT where they would be tortured.
Yeah, I know where they are.
Okay. So what part do you disagree with?
I know exactly where they are. The point that I disagree with is that would be a violation of Geneva Conventions. And considering how many people are after this, considering how many people are after Trump's head right now, that would be a direct line to taking him down. If you wanted to take him down, you could use that and take him down because that violates the Geneva Conventions. Does it not?
Do you understand that CCOT
does it violate
already...
does this act that you described violate
Donald
the
Trump
Geneva
has
Conventions?
no problem violating the law. I agree. It's probably illegal. I agree. Okay. So
probably no, it is illegal. It's highly illegal.
I'm glad you agree.
Illegal.
I'm glad you agree. Okay, so can we also agree that CCOT has already been flagged by activist groups within El Salvador for repeated torture of prisoners within CCOT? So this fits in with...
Now, if the people if the criminals that were being tortured, I got to ask you again, if the criminals that are being tortured have, I don't know how, I don't know if you just spend your day looking at how to get Trump, or if you actually pay attention to what's going on in the world and how dark
clearly you don't pay attention because I didn't know any of this.
To how dark the world actually is.
Mm-hmm.
You don't.
Okay. Have you ever seen accounts of torture? Have you ever seen any of the videos that these people release?
No, I don't usually go on Live Leak and watch torture videos.
You don't want to. Okay, so you have not been exposed to anything like that. So therefore, that's not burned in your brain. Because once you see it, it doesn't go away.
Are you flexing that you've been on Live Leak?
So
what the fuck?
Okay, so if it was burnt in my brain,
I'm not
then
flexing on Live Leak. I didn't bring up Live Leak. I'm just saying, once you see something like this, it doesn't go away, and you don't ever want to see it again.
So if it was burnt in my brain, does that mean that this person didn't get tortured in CCOT?
Do you think that violent offenders who sexually abuse children and who kidnap people for ransom money,
this is irrelevant,
and then dismember them,
just want to make sure we
should not be tortured?
This is irrelevant.
This is irrelevant.
This is irrelevant. This is somebody with no criminal record.
It's irrelevant.
Do you think
it's irrelevant? We should all stand back and just let. We should all stand back and let the taxpayer take care of it.
Do you think that somebody with no criminal record should be tortured?
An alleged gang member
with no criminal record, do you think they should be tortured?
Why would alleged gang member have even been brought into the picture?
Because of his tattoos. It was litigated by an immigration judge. Okay, so now can you answer my question? Do you think somebody with no criminal record should be tortured?
You don't know how the system works.
Clearly, you don't know how the system works.
I heard you had a...
Do you think...
Wait, hold on.
I want him to answer this question. Wait, no, hold on. I want him to answer this question.
I beg your pardon?
I don't care about the...
Do you know who you're talking to?
Hold on. Oh, shit. Wait, do you have an...
Do you want to go on camera?
Do you have that?
What did you just say?
I said I heard you had an alleged murder charge against you. Can you prove that wrong?
Really?
Can you prove that wrong?
Can I prove it wrong? Absolutely.
Can you prove it wrong?
Absolutely.
Right now, prove it wrong.
With my content of character.
Prove it wrong. No content of character. I want real proof. From the,
real proof?
Yeah, I want your criminal record from the United States of America proving it wrong.
What the hell are you talking about?
True.
Oh, wait, maybe we should send you to CCOT.
Okay, so
that's not the way it works, buddy.
Do you think that somebody? I mean, clearly it is. Do you think somebody with no? Do you think somebody with?
Can't get thrown. Here it is. You can't get thrown into a prison for nothing. A jail? Yes, it does happen. People go to jail for nothing sometimes.
Do you think that somebody with? Do you think that somebody with no criminal record should be tortured in CCOT?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So why do you support the president that sent somebody with no criminal record to CCOT to get tortured?
You didn't say he didn't have a criminal record. What you said that it's an alleged gang member.
I explicitly said he has no criminal record.
You said he is an alleged gang member with no criminal record.
By an immigration judge. Yes, that's not a criminal offense. So do we agree?
The first
agree?
identifier that I hear is alleged gang member. That's the identifier
I know you hear that,
gave
and then
me.
I know you hear that, and then your brain shuts off. But he had no criminal record. He got sent to CCOT, and he was tortured. So do you support that? Or do you like people with no criminal record being tortured?
No, I do not like people with no criminal record getting tortured. That
okay,
would not be normal.
why won't you condemn this then?
Why isn't it all over the bloody internet?
It is.
I don't know
if you followed the news. I don't know if you followed the news.
You gone viral with it?
I don't know if you followed the news. This is all over CNN. This is all over Fox News. This is all over everywhere. I just because you're not paying attention doesn't mean it's not everywhere. Okay.
CNN. You mean that legacy?
I know you're
news corporation.
I know you're begging to get out of any accountability for this question. I know you're begging to get out of any accountability for this question.
Yeah.
Why do you support the president that sent this person with no criminal record to get tortured in CCOT?
The president did not personally send this person to CCOT to get tortured.
Do you agree that sending this person to CCOT was bad?
Do you think President Trump
Can you answer the question?
Are you going to answer that question?
All on his own? No, that's the thing. You ask the questions so you can pivot, so you can control.
You're the only one pivoting.
And when you don't get an answer you like, you ask another question.
Who is in charge
and you
of
try
this
to pivot.
deportation? Let's say it's not. Let's say it's not Donald Trump. Who is in charge of this? Who is in charge of this deportation?
The deportation, immigration judges ultimately.
The immigration judge? No.
Yep, because the immigration judges are the ones who actually get to determine who stays here and who does not.
Isn't it
they do not get bypassed. Every single person that gets
Okay.
deported from this country has to go through an immigration judge.
Are you aware?
Determination has to be made because
agree.
it goes into the immigration system and their
agree.
database to know who can stay and who cannot.
The funny part about this case
otherwise you'd be able to reapply and reapply and reapply.
The funny thing about this case was no, you don't know how the system works. The funny thing is that this person had a withholding of removal and he was deported anyway. That's the whole problem.
A withholding of removal by who?
By the immigration judge.
Okay, and which state was this immigration judge based in?
Is that relevant?
Yes.
Why?
Because several immigration judges have colluded to deride this administration.
Oh, okay. So, okay.
This was in 2019.
Oh, so wait, now it's not up to the immigration judges, and they can rule on something, and Trump can do it anyway because they were colluding against him. I forgot. Okay.
Okay.
So,
have you ever heard of
okay,
a
so this withholding order was given in 2019, so you can try and find another cope. Okay, it was given in 2019. They ignored the immigration judge. They deported him anyway. He had no criminal record. He was sent to CCOT. He was tortured. Okay, why do you support that?
In 2019?
In 2019, he was given the withholding of removal. In 2025, he was deported.
Okay, who was acting president in 2019?
Trump.
Trump.
Okay, and when did this deportation occur?
2025.
Okay. So he was being held for the last how long?
He was for the past 4 years?
He was being held for the last 4 years?
5 years?
5 years he was being
He had a
held?
valid
Wow.
work permit, right?
Wow, valid work permit, and Joe Biden was not able to do a thing about it.
Yeah, because that's how immigration judges work. If you give somebody a withholding of removal, they're not going to be deported to El Salvador.
Right. So where was he during this?
I'm the person who doesn't understand the system. I'm sorry. Okay. So they ignored the withholding of removal. They deported him to El Salvador. Regardless of that withholding of removal, he has no criminal record. He was sent to CCOT. He was tortured. Why do you support that?
I don't believe that. What's the guy's name? What's his name?
Abrego Garcia. Have you ever heard of that name?
I may have.
I don't know what I'm talking about
this.
Okay.
So does this make Trump a bad president?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, unless you think that you can be a good president while sending people to a torture camp? Maybe. Is that your opinion?
I don't agree with people being sent to a torture camp if they're innocent.
Then why did you support Trump doing it?
Why do you
Pardon me?
support Trump doing it?
Why do you support Trump doing it?
Look, he's rounded up people who have been proven to be criminals. All right.
That's not even true.
So he experienced severe beatings and psychological torture in a super max prison in El Salvador. Not in CCOT.
Oh my!
Did you think?
God.
Wait, hold on. Did you think CCOT was the name of the country? CCOT's the name of the prison.
And where's that prison? Where's that prison located?
In El Salvador. I already told you that.
So El Salvador has a problem.
Yeah. Do you know what our problem was?
Right. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So now that you've determined, since you divulged that CCOT is located in El Salvador,
I'm sorry, that wasn't a very well hidden secret.
Because you've been going on about CCOT and CCOT and CCOT, and guess what? CCOT's in El Salvador, and that's where he was tortured. Guess what? It's El Salvador's problem, isn't it?
Got me. Why did we send him to CCOT?
He was sent to El Salvador.
The plane from the U.S. landed at CCOT.
In El Salvador, where he was tortured.
We shipped him to CCOT.
In El Salvador, where he was tortured.
What point do you think you're making when you say in El Salvador? Do you think I don't know that CCOT is in El Salvador? We were sending him to CCOT. That's where he arrived.
You've been making it sound like Trump runs CCOT.
Well, we were funding it with our money.
Oh, wait. Okay, the absolute irony, the irony of you saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, when the read that you were being given is that Donald Trump runs what I assume you think was a foreign country called CCOT, where we were torturing people.
No,
I don't know.
No, you were making CCOT sound like it was like it was a detention camp located where? Who knows? A dark site? What is it?
So when I said he had a withholding order, withholding order from El Salvador, do you think I was just saying that for fun, and that was just like a fun fact?
Look, this guy, okay. An alleged gang member, right? Like you said.
Yep.
Protected resident. You know, you can commit a crime in your life and maybe have regret later on in life. But if the crime is severe enough, there's retribution to pay.
Okay. So what crime
you only get one go around in this world. And you know, if you screw up hard enough,
what crime did he commit?
It's going to come back. Well, El Salvador knows. El Salvador knows.
We trust the government. We trust the El Salvadorian government. They couldn't have just gone along with it. He must have done something. Okay, based.
Divine mystery.
Okay, well, we've got
so how does this make Trump a bad president?
Because he sent him to CCOT.
Okay. No criminal activity here whatsoever. None.
No criminal record.
Nope.
No criminal convictions on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Now, if you want to show me a criminal conviction that he has, I would be more than happy to see it, but the government hasn't offered one yet, so...
Prince George County Police Department Gangfield interview sheet.
So just to be clear, what you're doing right now is you're trying to post-hoc justify sending this person to CCOT, right? What you're trying to do is say, well, you know, there must be some reason why he was sent to CCOT, so I have to find why he's a bad enough person to send him to CCOT, instead of saying, well, maybe people with no criminal record shouldn't be sent to CCOT, right?
On March 3rd, 28th, 2019, at approximately 14:27
I don't understand how this
hours.
is such a hard pill to swallow.
Well, here it is. You want to hear it, right?
Yeah. Is that and you're reading me a criminal conviction, right?
Right.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to hear it?
I want to hear what criminal convictions this person faced. Yeah.
Member of Prince George's County Gang Unit MS-13 Intelligence Squad of an encounter with Christian Hernandez Romero on multiple occasions. He has an extensive criminal history for multiple assaults, concealing dangerous weapon, burglary, and many other criminal offenses.
Are you?
Yep.
Do you have a hearing aid that's like going dead or something, or like is your phone far away from you?
No, it's right in my face.
Okay, then I don't know why you don't know that that's not the name that I said. I said Kilmar Abrego Garcia.
Right.
Right. So you're naming the criminal history for some other dude. Why?
Officers contacted a past proven and reliable source of information who advised Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia is an active member of MS-13 with the Westerns clique.
Okay. So is
this
that...
confidential source farther advised that he is the rank of Checo with the moniker of Chele.
And okay, so where's the criminal conviction?
Well, geez, if you're an active member of MS-13, do you know what MS-13 is? Do you know
where's the criminal conviction? Wait, you said you would read off.
Do you know what MS?
You said that you would read off to me. You said you would read. You said you would read off to me the criminal conviction.
No, you're wasting your breath.
You said that you would read the criminal
conviction.
conviction.
Okay, he's a member of MS-13.
You said that he would read the criminal conviction to me. Where was the criminal conviction?
He's a member of MS-13.
So you're finding out in real time.
What do you think
you're finding out in real time that there is no criminal conviction? Wow.
No, just MS-13.
Wow,
do you know
so
what MS-13
interesting.
is?
There's no criminal conviction.
Do you know what the largest?
Okay. Now can you agree with me?
Let me ask you one question.
When you said
and then I'll shut up. One question and I'll shut up.
Okay, but I need you to answer this question afterwards.
Do you know what MS-13 is?
Yep, it's a gang.
Do you not know they are the largest terrorist organization in the world?
The largest terrorist organization in the world. Okay, buddy.
They are.
So, okay.
Worldwide.
Now answer my question.
You can go to Europe. Okay, I've lived in Europe. I've lived in Scotland.
Now answer my question.
I've lived in Europe and I've lived in Scotland.
Now let's answer my question.
Okay? I've lived in four different countries.
Can you agree that when you said you don't think people
listen
with
to someone
no
with
criminal
experience. Shut your mouth for a second and listen to someone with experience.
You said that you would answer my question. So can you agree that when you said that innocent or people with no criminal record being sent to CCOT and tortured was bad, that you were lying, that you don't think that's bad, and that you think that's justifiable? You can unmute.
I invited you into unmute, buddy.
I just want to make sure that we all agree that when he said that he doesn't believe that people with no criminal record should be tortured, he was lying. He believes that they should be tortured. Just to be clear.
Do you care about human beings?
I care a lot about human beings. Clearly, you do not.
That's why you're on here. Good. We've established that. We have something in common.
So can you agree with me?
No, there's no waiting. There's no waiting. You got to take a piss or something? What are you in a rush for?
Can you agree with me?
What are you in a rush for?
Can you agree with me? Can you agree with me that when you said that you don't believe that people with no criminal record should be tortured, you were lying? You don't believe that. You believe that there is
He's a member of
MS-13.
Right?
So he has no criminal record, right?
Holds the rank of Chiqueo.
He has
with
no criminal
the moniker
record, right?
of Chele.
So you believe that people with no criminal record
of
can
MS-13.
be. So you believe people with no criminal record can be tortured, right?
Member of
that
MS-13.
Is what you believe, correct? That
with the Westerns clique.
That is what
I
you
have
believe.
the
globalist, answer your
question.
question.
You believe that people with no criminal record should be tortured, correct?
No.
Okay, so why are you justifying them torturing him?
Active member of MS-13 with the Westerns clique.
Do you know what a criminal conviction is?
Okay, so let's say I was a white.
I know, because he doesn't want
for conversation. Let's say I was a white supremacist. Okay, for conversation's sake, and I ran with some white supremacist sicko gang. that just ran around, taking out people who were just of different melanin content than myself. Let's say I was that kind of sicko, which would be disgusting.
Okay, I'm glad we could agree there.
All right. No one ever caught me in the act, right? But 20 years down the road, or 15 years down the road, or even a year down the road, an informant comes up and says, "Hey, this guy over here, he's a member of this gang." A confidential informant comes up and says, that's a pretty serious allegation. Right? And if you can place him anywhere within the ranks of that gang, that's a pretty heavy rank to hold, isn't it?
Could be, yeah.
Well, let's look it up.
So I'm going to take the very bold stance that people with no criminal history shouldn't be tortured in foreign camps. I am going to take the very bold stance to say that.
I love you.
You don't agree.
You disagree with that. You disagree with that. Just to be clear.
No, people without a criminal record.
You believe that somebody should be tortured.
MS-13,
you believe
is he a part of MS-13 or not? That's what needs to be determined. You're riding in a gray zone. You're riding in a gray zone.
You believe that just on the grounds of somebody saying you're a part of a gang that you should be tortured. So what if the confidential human source was lying?
A reliable confidential source saying you're a member of MS-13.
Okay, what if they were
and
wrong?
He was caught with 4 other MS-13 members.
Do you understand that in order to
Why would you hang up?
Do you understand that in order to secure a criminal conviction, you need to be proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, right?
Dude, if you were running around,
not going to answer that. Okay, I'm done talking to this guy. I'm done talking to this guy.
No, hold on.
You're not engaging. I'm sorry. It's the goal to say that I don't understand how the process works when he's advocating for people with no criminal record to be tortured. That's what he was advocating for. But go off, King. I just wish you'd be more honest and say that right at the very beginning, so I can just disregard all of your opinions, buddy.
Abrego Garcia. Wow. Yeah, I think the whole the confidential source thing, I feel like a lot of people need to push back on that, since he wasn't like put under court. It wasn't like under testimony. He wasn't cross-examined. We have like no reason. We don't even know who the person is actually, like, at all. So I'm not really sure why this is like the super credible like conviction.
And that's what justifies torturing him, by the way. Just to be clear, that's the strong adherence to the Constitution. If somebody who not under oath alleges that you did something, you go to foreign prison so we can torture you. That's the bar. Just to make sure everyone all agrees.
Which court document is that? Because I've been seeing that surface around, but I haven't got the chance to read about it.
I trust you, so I'll just DM you a link.
All right.
But I'll do it after the live. How do we know he was tortured? What's your source? It was put in court documents by the plaintiff's lawyers. And the CCOT has a very long history of very mysterious deaths happening in CCOT and allegations of torture by former prisoners.
Yeah, it is definitely a test of like the government. Like for everything else, it's like with COVID vaccine, it's like it's a top-down conspiracy and like everything else. But like a random like informant is like, it's enough for a full and honest criminal conviction of gang affiliation.
True, but then you have like multiple of Donald Trump's cabinet members and lawyers saying, yeah, this guy's crazy. He was saying that he wants to overturn their election no matter what it takes, and all of those were just have TDS and were just lying to bring Donald Trump down. But
yeah, like the whole Jan 6 thing, where it's like a top-down FBI conspiracy that like
under oath, by the way, they all say that under oath.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting off. I'm tired.
All right. I love you. Thanks for letting me come up in that combo.
Of course. MAGA wears me out, bro. Holy shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me plug real quick. All right. I'm live at youtube.com @Rinyald. Okay. I'm going to do some reading on immigration stuff for a little bit. Probably until probably for about a half hour.
All right. I'm gonna
drop down.
All right. Love you guys. Lordy, 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 Lou.